Welcome to Munich Film Awards 2019.
My name's Jesse Blackwood, and the name of our film is The Conqueror. It's a film about Jerome conquest, and I was one of the writers along with my brother, who was the director of the film. Well, it was actually my brother and Bradford Downs. They were working on another project and up in Philadelphia already, and looking at various sports avenues and talking about role models in North Philly. And everybody at Joe and Jim immediately they said, Jerome Conquest is somebody that you have to meet. And so we were introduced to Jerome, and he invited us immediately into his life. And he was getting married actually 3 days later, and he invited us to his wedding. I came up on, I think that was Wednesday. They met Jerome, and he was getting married on Saturday. I came up on Friday, and we all went to the wedding on Saturday, and then took the next week, and he had a fight the next week, actually, just very fortuitously. And so we took the next week before his fight to meet him and his family and in his neighborhood.
Cool. My name is Aaron Lucas. My film is free therapy, and I wrote and directed and edited the film. I did a theatre production, a very small theatre show, a few years ago while I was at uni, about a director who was meddling in a scene between two actors.
Okay.
And he was sort of directing the scene as it went, and you got to see how the scene changed. And I liked the concept, and I wasn't finished with the concept, so I wanted to do it again. And so I cheaply reused my own idea and did it again, and in short film form. And I'd also just moved to Berlin, so I wanted to work with some actors in like a big text-heavy scene. So I decided to write something. One of the biggest challenges was finding cast and finding people to work with who we could trust, and because Eloise and I, who is a producer, she and I were casting it and were finding the crew, and we'd only just moved to Berlin, so we're very new, and we were used to, in Australia we have like quite a larger network of people that we can draw upon, but here we were sort of just like grabbing whoever, and we wanted to still have a really strong cast and crew, which we did end up having, but it was scary for a bit trying to find those, especially the cast, trying to find the right comedy actors and stuff.
My name is Orlando Bryant Jr. The name of my film is Grisdale, and I am the writer, producer and director. I wanted to get in film, but I was the kind of person that waited for the opportunity to come to me.
Okay.
So, I was doing a 9 to 5, I was doing like my martial art at an elite level at the time, and then I just had a brainwave that, if that goes, if the taekwondo goes, what have I got to stand on, basically? So by chance, when I was working in a restaurant, a customer that I was serving told me about the film school that I'm at now, Raindance. And I just did a quick look on Google and found the course that I'm doing, which is a level 5 H&D in moving image. So I've been doing that for 2 years now, I'm nearly at the end, and just through that I've met so many people. I've done talk at BFI, and to be honest, it's practically brought me here in front of you today.
Okay, so my name is Tanguy Guinchat. I'm the director of Chikuzao, and I also act in it and do the stunt choreography in it. Well, actually we are a bunch of stunt people from Switzerland and France, and we wanted to produce our own film to practice stunts first and to kind of storytell a story through our action choreography and movie acting. Yeah.
After seeing these films, I also can understand how I personally can go forward with what I want to do as films. One of the main reasons I came here today was to find people to collaborate with. So I'm really hoping to come out of this with a sense of networking and support from a community that obviously produces extremely beautiful films.
Well, I think that the biggest challenge is that there's a lot more to Jerome's story that didn't make it. And as I said, we started filming at his wedding, and even before his wedding, and when he was having his haircut, and the beautiful scenes of him having his haircut, and the wonderful scenes in his basement interviewing his friends who had been, his 8th grade buddies, and then seeing his bedroom upstairs and having the kind of the whole feeling of his life, and then I think also Jerome would say that my life is much more than just this. He's very, very committed to giving back to his neighborhood. But we wanted to make a film that shared a feeling about what that hero was, and so it focuses more on the feeling and less on trying to include everything. A huge thanks to the Munich Film Awards. It's a tremendous honor to be here, and I'm very happy to represent The Conqueror. Huge thanks to Jerome and to his neighborhood, to Strawberry Mansion. This is an award that really belongs to them, and only as they've won it for us are we able to represent it for them.
A number of things. Basically, the location where we shot the film is somewhere that I've been going to for like the past 15, 16 years now. So I know it pretty well. So I've seen stuff, I've heard stuff. So what I decided to do is basically take those real life events and put it into a 5-minute short film. Because as I always say, the best stories told are the real ones. The time that we decided to film, so we decided to film on the Easter holidays basically. So basically people's availability was, it wasn't really there, but I managed to convince them to, take the time to, do this film, and luckily we got it all done in one day. I've got a production company called Trident Visuals, so my first plan is to do a YouTube show, like just teaching, helping the independent filmmaker. I feel like most of the videos that's out there now are kind of geared towards the higher spectrum of like filmmaking, and if someone that's beginning in the industry watches that, then they're going to get confused and they're not going to understand how it's actually done. So there's that. I'm hoping to do a master's in September in filmmaking. There's loads of things that I want to do, loads of things, and I will do it.
My favorite submission today was The Phoenix, by far, because it addressed issues of feminism that you don't necessarily see from male directors, but this was a beautifully poignant piece that highlighted the struggle of women everywhere, not just in one specific area, and I really enjoyed it. It was quite short, but with enough jeu de voix behind it that it made perfect sense, and it was really a beautifully filmed and everything film.
It's always hard to produce that by ourselves because we have no, how could I say that? There is no production team in Switzerland, and that's why we do it ourselves, to not to show off, but just to practice first. And well, that's why I'm kind of honored to be here, because I wasn't expected that. So that's really great, and I think I could say from all the production that we are very glad to have been nominated and selected to this festival. Well, we're currently working on our next short movie. It will be kind of the same direction, short action movies, and we want to promote a bit the action in our area in Europe.